Welcome to Tip Tuesday. This is Will Twentyman at IndySoft, and today we're going to be looking at custom SQL event attributes. So hopefully you're familiar with event attributes, and I'm going to move my face out of the way. So we've got things like accessories, it's a memo, and you can have an employee, and here's an employee drop-down list. But one type that you may be less familiar with, if we go to our options, is the custom SQL type. And if you launch it and we say we're going to do departments, normally you do something like say, okay, this is going to be a department, but you can choose to go with custom SQL. When you do this, what you have to do is actually type a SQL query that is going to populate the drop-down of things you want. So, for example, I could do select department from debt. And if I hit OK and hit OK, and assuming I did this right, you get two departments. Now, your natural inclination may be to say, that seems kind of dumb. And it can be. However, if we look at my user preferences right now, one thing I want you to notice is that in my default companies, I am using ABC Company for my employee list. So, if I click on Owner, this is a list of employees in ABC Company. If I click on Employee here, I get the same list. And what you see is when I go to these attributes, employee is set up as an employee type. So it behaves exactly like the owner drop-down, which pulls from employees. But I may have a scenario where I want to do something different. And so I've got a few different employee fields, and each one's set up a little bit different. The first one is BCD employee. So this is the simplest version. Here I'm saying select username from employee with company equals BCD company. So this is going to get the BCD employee list instead of ABC company employee list. And if we go ahead and look at that, you'll see I've got BCD 1, 2, 3. And if we check our add edit employees, you'll see that there's my ABC company list. Here's my BCD list. I've also got another list for MegaCal employees. So, on Cur employee, I've got Mega popping up. Well, how did I do that? That seems a little interesting. If we go to my preferences system-wide, one of the things that we can do when we're setting up this SQL is we can use special escape codes. So for example, here I said select username from employee with company equals bang company. And we actually have a list of several different things that you can use over in our advanced scripting guide. So this is just using the replace special fields function behind the scenes. And so you've actually got access to your username, full name, profile, the current company. You've got access to workstation crib, workstation department, workstation location, and some various employee fields. So this is a trick that you can use where you can actually go in and say, even though we want to have the company or the employee drop-down list normally come from ABC company. In this case, I want it to be the current company. So that's one trick that we can do. We can also do the default employee, and here we've got the company is equal to default company employee. Now, obviously, I could have just done the employee drop-down, not a big deal. But what this does is this actually sets the company to be the default company list for the employees, again, out of my preferences. And you'll notice in this case, while we do the bangs in front and the end, or exclamation points, we're not going to use the semicolons because it's going to automatically provide those for you. So this is another trick we can do. We can also do a few other tricks. So you'll notice here I've got two attributes pointing to my crib and one pointing to my bin. Then I've got a sub-bin and a backup crib. So let me show you what's going on with that. One thing we might want to do is have multiple cribs and bins associated. And so if I look at my crib here, I can say crib 1 or crib 2. That's fine. I'll say crib 1. If I come here, now I can say crib 1 or crib 2. That's fine as well. And then when I go to the bin, I'm only given bin 1 or bin 2. So what this is pointing to is the bin is grabbing the fact that I've got crib 1 as my only item here. Now, if I hit F5 to reload my equipment real fast and then go to crib 2, so you'll see this is here. But the bin is still very much pulling from that list. And if we look at my bin numbers, bin 1 and bin 2, bin 1 and bin 1 2 are under crib 1, bin 2 1 and bin 2 2 are under crib 2. So if I change this to crib 2, now my bin list automatically updates. But what if I want a backup? In this case, I'm going to do a backup crib, and I'm going to have that be crib 1. And I'm going to have a sub-bin, and you'll notice that magically it knows that the backup crib is crib 1. How am I doing that? So, again, going back to my preferences, my backup crib is now, instead of being the crib number, I'm doing the custom SQL, so I can really make sure everything's independent. So select the crib number from cribs where company equals escape company. Then on my sub-bin, select bin number from bins where the company is the company, and the crib number is, note that exclamation point, equip attribute underscore backup crib. So what this is going to do is this is going to go to a different equip attribute, pull its text value, and use that in the search. And this is something that you can do to get the parent-child relationship with type subtypes, cribs and bins. You can also use this as a technique when you are doing event attributes in your event system. You'll still use the equip attribute underscore prefix, but you can actually have parent-child relationships or exclusionary relationships as needed when you're doing the event attributes as well. So this allows you to start having a great deal of flexibility. In the past, I've done this to do things like have a list of employees under a particular manager, or have a list of employees that have a specific title. So you can use this to have more narrowed in queries you can do a lot of different things really with this. And so this gives you more power to develop your list of whatever you happen to want. So that is our custom SQL field type. Obviously, you'll need to be familiar with SQL, but I think this will give you an idea of a bunch of possibilities.